I wanna be with you. You're young and beautiful. I trust some two directions. I had no hope. We never follow instinct. We just don't understand a different situation. We've lost command. My heart's in limbo. Your heart's in limbo. You always share affection with everybody else. I think that you should learn to love yourself. The man that you love most, the man that brought you here, he's always in your memory. He's always here. My heart's in limbo. Your heart's in limbo. My heart's in limbo. Your heart's in limbo. My heart's in limbo. Your heart's in limbo.
Willie Bragg Show. I'm your host, Willie Bragg. Welcome to this Friday edition. And once again, Happy New Year to every one of you. And I hope everybody had a wonderful time partying on the last day of 2025, and I hope that everybody's 2026 is going to be awesome. Hold on one second. I'm gonna tell you what happened to me last night at work. One half of it anyway. You may not notice anything different about me, so I'm gonna tell you what happened to me. You see this? This is half of my glasses right here. it split in half. It dropped on the floor at work. I had to leave work early, as you can see. This is the remnants of my old glasses. So I tried to drive home to the best of my ability, holding it like this. I'll show you how I drove home. Drove home kind of like this, doing the best I could, closing my eye, my right eye, and just driving, just trying to do, just trying to do the best I can. And I got pulled over. I explained to the officer what happened to me because I was weaving a little bit on the road, and he kind of chuckled about it. And one of the few times that officer decided not to be a jerk about things, so he let me off with a warning. Told me to be careful. I told him it was better for me to do this at night than to do this early in the morning, where I will really be putting myself in a lot of danger with other folks. So I'm going to try to find my other glasses when I get home. So I got home. I went in and I searched frantically for my old glasses. And I found these. These were the glasses I was wearing prior. Yeah, like there's a world difference between my eyewear. I've been wearing more or less the same kind of eyewear roughly since 1997. Sometimes it's the partly plastic, partly metal frame, kind of like the Buddy Holly ones, and sometimes it's the more plastic frame, and he wore both kinds, by the way. I'm just giving y'all an example, So I could go either Buddy Holly or Woody Allen or some variation, Elvis Costello, but that's kind of been my style. I used to wear the wire rims in the 1990s, the tortoiseshells and wire rims. So I went for the kind of the John Lennon kind of look back then. And in the 1980s, I had something kind of like this, but it was more like the bass player from REM. It was kind of like this, but the frames were kind of a little more. It was like on the horn rim. I don't know what you call those frames. They're kind of in the horn rim family, but they're more circular. But anyway, so yeah, that's my eyewear history, just to let y'all know. So anyway, a shout out to everyone here, and to Warren. Let's see, what did he say here? He says Happy New Year from Titty Mountain. Well, about 2 hours and 20 minutes away, but eastward of Titty Mountain, otherwise known as Pilot Mountain. But who knows? I may go back there again. I go there I go there about twice a year, I think. So I like that area. Let's see. The best thing about a little girl is if you pull their hair back, they look like little boys. Bella Lugosi. Okay. Well, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, damn one-eye Willie. Happy Friday. Hello, guys. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. How are you doing? Right. So, anyway, I hope everybody's Friday's serving y'all well. I want to talk about the necessary conversation. And this is not going to be like an hour show. It's probably going to be about 30 minutes or so, or in that time frame. But the necessary conversation is a podcast I've discovered recently, and it's entertaining. It's entertaining because it's basically your Blue MAGA versus MAGA show. It's that, but I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It's like a real life. It's like a real life online drama version of All in the Family. You got this couple who are from Oklahoma, and gosh, got the name of the father and the mother. Uh, they're basically on board, full steam ahead on MAGA. I mean, they are like your stereotypical, Southern boomers who are like drinking the MAGA Kool Aid. And the difference I would say is with the mother slash wife, she, even though she loves Donald Trump, adores him, supports him, she's a little more. She's a little more. She appreciates nuance more than her husband. Her husband is hardcore. You can't reason with him. I mean, he is stubborn, like you couldn't believe. You can reason with her a little bit. Sometimes you could talk. Sometimes when the son and the daughter talks to their mom, she has nuances, and she will show signs of that she's not fully on board with every aspect of Trumpism. And she seems like a nice lady. I think I will basically disagree with her on virtually everything, but she seems like a nice lady. Now the husband slash father, he's a fucking asshole. He's somebody. I mean, the motherfucker looks like Tim Waltz, but he sounds like Rush Limbaugh without the. I don't want to say Rush Limbaugh has charm or charisma or whatever. He doesn't. He didn't. But whatever people found appealing about Rush Limbaugh, this motherfucker didn't have that, even to have that. That's basically the way I will put it. The two kids, the son, he's probably about 50 years old. He's basically a Generation X person with millennial instincts, I guess you could say. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm actually saying that in a complimentary way. I would put myself in that category because millennials are kind of left leaning. So I was one of those. Generation Xers that that thinks kind of like a millennial in a way. I would say that, and the daughter, she's a little. I would say she's probably a little more hyper woke than the son would be, but I mean they're both more correct than the two parents. A bit shit Libby for my takes, for what I mean, I'm certainly to their left in a lot of ways, I think, but and they're a bit shit Libby in their takes, and they're too much in they'll claim. I think they claim to be independent, but they're definitely in the Democratic Party camp, which it is what it is. And they're mostly right on the issues to talk about. I don't think I've ever maybe an issue here where I could find myself in disagreement, but I would say probably about 95 plus percent of the time that I'm going to probably side with them more than the parents. I don't think that there's probably about anything I could ever. I may have probably the closest thing I will side with the parents on, and for different reasons, is they talked about the Russian-Ukraine conflict, and I am an anti-interventionist consistently, even on that question. Whereas the kids are into vilifying Putin, which I have a problem with Putin. I'm not a Putin apologist, but I think that there are people far worse on this planet than Vladimir Putin, Benjamin Netanyahu. There are people far worse than Putin. I'll say it. Benjamin Netanyahu is fucking worse. I would embrace Vladimir Putin any day before Netanyahu. But that'll probably be the closest thing. And no, anybody who wants to call me Russian, pro-Russia, no, I'm third camp, only which is I'm not a Trotskyist, but I take a Trotskyist position on the Russian-Ukraine conflict on third camp. I don't side with Ukraine. I don't side with Russia. I side with the people of both countries wanting peace. Anyway, let's get to the necessary conversation, shall we? Right. So, okay. But before we do, let's start with a little bit of humor. Can we do that? Misha Pollan is I think she's the producer of the Jimmy Dore Show, and she's a comedian. And I don't know if I've shown this video before, but I feel compelled to share. So enjoy. It's called the Lose Weight Fast video. You'll see what she means.
I was 200.
Dear Americans, since January 20, 2025, the United States has conducted bombings and...
Hold on.
I was 200 pounds and conventional diet and exercise just wasn't working. Then I found out about the Gaza diet.
The Gaza diet is clinically proven to work by starving the body, which leads to extreme weight loss and eventually death. But there's a tight window there where you look great.
You can't argue with results.
Experts call it the most moral diet in the world. And here's how it works. You'll be assigned a personal fitness expert who will monitor your food intake by restricting the food supply entering your home. This is key, as you will not be able to leave your home while you're on the Gaza diet. Nutrient-rich infrastructures such as gardens or chicken coops will be destroyed to ensure you reach your goal weight. And finally, when it's time to eat, we'll be sure you're burning a lot of calories. Look at her go.
I lost 68 pounds and a kidney.
Just watch the pounds melt off. Call the number on your screen and get matched with one of our IDF-trained fitness experts today.
Thanks, Gaza diet. I was 200.
Yep, that's Misha Pollan, and she's talking about a very volatile issue that we are all on the same page on, and just figured to share that with you all. So, and I enjoy her sarcasm, and also good job, Misha Pollan. She never disappoints. So anyway. So let's go ahead with a little sampling of the necessary conversation. When you think of the necessary conversation, you would think of All in the Family, the arguments and everything that took place on that TV show. Or if you want to go British like me, Till Death Us Do Part. So let's go ahead with the first clip, shall we? Is this the first clip? This is the first clip. What do you know? Here we go. Here's an example.
They are deleting files off of the website where they did this initial dump, which again is only 2% of all the files. They broke the law. Why are they deleting files off the website? One of which, one of those files, you're wrong. One of those files, 468, is just a bunch of pictures of Donald Trump in Epstein's house. Why would they delete that?
Well, how do you know that?
That was
because they put it on the website. Everyone downloaded it. Then they deleted it. Dad, please shut up.
Will you please shut the up about something you're about? You got you're talking about shit that happened 10 to 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Before Epstein's little fiefdom was going as well as it was under Barack Obama and Joe Biden.
I can promise you this.
Joe Biden and Barack Obama are both.
Okay, so Dad, hang on, Mom, wait a second. Dad, why did they delete file 468 that is just pictures of Donald Trump?
Googling file 468.
Mom already told you.
There are no victims in the file. It's only pictures of Donald Trump in Epstein's office.
File.
That's right.
468.
And it doesn't matter.
This is all a moot point. This is that you could literally provide a photo of him assaulting a victim, and somehow they would spin that.
Okay, that's an example. That's probably one of their more civil arguments. It's gotten pretty heated at times. I've seen them get pretty heated up, and so watching them go at it and everything. As I said, the father and the son. I mean, they. I mean, I, that right wing dad drinks so much of that Kool-Aid. I mean, let me put it this way. Fox News is too liberal for him, So he's the kind of person that will watch. He'll watch Newsmax and One American News Network. And I'll tell you, I mean, I know y'all are probably familiar with One American News Network, but the thing is that One News American Network was at 2011, 2012. It was created for people who thought Fox News was going too soft. Yeah. So, and after Trump was defeated in 2020, for a while, One American News Network was on borrowed times. And as they were on borrowed times, a lot of people thought they were going to go out of business. I was going to, yes, go out of business. Because they're just horrible. They're just a shitty network. I mean, worse than Newsmax, worse than Fox News. Yeah, I mean, there's a spectrum, and I will say this: the only thing I will say about Fox News is that during the Trump years, strangely enough, the first Trump, not this second Trump, but during the first Trump, Fox News did moderate slightly, which I guess is where a lot of people started going into Newsmax and One American News Network. But then Fox News decided we're going to act like it's 2003 again, and with weapons of mass destruction, even though it was not about the Iraq War, but they had that mindset. So it was with the conspiracy theories and the religious right, and they got a little more overt with the white nationalism too, by the way. Whereas they back then they kind of sugarcoated and maybe even did not fully believe in it back then. So whereas now, they're flirting with the alt-right. So what could be worse than being a fucking neocon, warmongering piece of shit like you were back in 2003 Fox News, but then you haven't really changed in that regard, but you add the alt-right bullshit in there, and you get a little more bold about the white nationalism. Damn, that's just horrible. So anyway, so One American News Network, they were about to collapse and everything, and I was rooting for their demise, but apparently that didn't happen. And I think that's what happened with Fox News. Fox News were like, no, we got to get some of those people back, And you think of, when I think of the 1990s and early 2000s, I think of Free Republic, those goons, the people I faulted them for hating Bill Clinton for the wrong reasons. I still do, but but these are the people that hated Bill Clinton for the wrong reasons, and then believe in weapons of mass destruction, celebrated torture, and were fucking assholes about it. Let's see. So let's go with the next clip, shall we? All right. I always hit that one. Okay, this is the one I need to hit. Okay, share a screen. Okay, we will do this one here. This is the mother/wife.
I totally believe he's trying to make our country better. He's doing the best he can with the prices and all of that, with tariffs that was supposed to bring in a lot more money, which it has.
No, tariffs don't bring in money.
We have discussed this before, I know.
Who do you think pays tariffs?
We've talked about this.
Yes. And I want to see if it's stuck.
The country where it comes into and the country where it goes out of, too, both ways.
No.
The country where it comes into.
That's right. So American businesses are paying the tariffs.
Right.
No foreign country is paying any tariffs. So that makes it harder for us, not better.
But then Trump put tariffs back on them, very high tariffs in some countries. China.
Trump can't force other countries to tariff themselves. If Trump puts a tariff on China, let's say, like I remember at one point he was doing like a 50%
right
tariff on everything from China. I don't know if that's still in place or not. That means when an American company imports something from China, let's say they import something worth $100,000, that company at the port pays $50,000 on top of the $100,000 they owe to China.
Have that, yes. And then that makes prices increase. Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Now I'll tell you about the tariffs. Now, if I agree with Trump on one thing, maybe would have been tariffs. And I will explain what I mean by that, but not totally. And the thing about when it comes to tariffs is that I'm a protectionist. I'm been always largely a protectionist. Trump is doing protectionism in the dumbest, most inefficient way. He's doing it based on his bratty emotions in ways that's all about. I hate to quote or paraphrase Kyle Kalinske, but he's right nevertheless. On vibes. He does it, with the vibes, with the Trump supporters. They're like, yeah, tariffs. Yeah, we'll tariff that country. We'll tariff this country and that country. And the crowd are like, yeah, and you do it without a plan, and you do it based on emotion, without a strategy, and without any national planning in the economy. You're just going to fuck the economy up. And the problem with Trump's position is the closest thing he is to being correct, he manages to fuck it up. So later on, when there's another president, regardless of the party, and there's an economic crisis in a certain field of industry where you do need to go and do a strategic trade war to protect your jobs here, you're going to have people, you're going to even have some progressives saying, what are you, some kind of Trump apologist? See, Trump will ruin it. Trump is ruining it. He is ruining it with this bullshit. And so, as I said, I am a protectionist hardcore. I mean, if I lived in the UK, would I have supported Brexit in 2016? I would have been one of those people on the left that would have supported Brexit. Not for the right-wing reasons, but I don't want Brussels telling the UK to cut back on the NHS and to keep the unions in check and cut back on the welfare state and cut back on social spending. I don't want things like that. So for that reason, I would have been in favor of Brexit. A left-wing case against it. There was this thing called the Labor Leave Campaign, Lexit, back then when there was hope for labor. People like George Galloway and supported it. Jeremy Corbyn, I know he was kind of in favor of Brexit, but he was not as bold about it as he needed to be. And but it is what it is. So. But anyway, I will tell you a funny story about 2017, 2018, I guess, when they were doing the tariffs on Chinese steel. And I strategically supported to protect the American steel industry, the workers. And one of my managers in my previous jobs asked me, where do I stand on it? He was like a Republican who hated Trump. And I said, well, I am for it. And he looked at me. He said, I like you personally, but any position where you, Bernie Sanders, and Donald Trump are on the same page, I have to, on principle, be opposed to it. So go figure. But anyhow, yeah, leave it to Trump to fuck shit up like that, you know? Okay, let's go with another clip from the necessary conversation, shall we?
You're throwing your whole thing on religion with Jesus Christ. Well, Jesus Christ didn't get along with the Muslims back in the day either.
Huh? What Muslims was he running into?
He wasn't running into any. That's what I'm saying. He didn't have this problem. If he'd have had a problem with the Muslims back when he was running or roaming the earth, he would have changed things.
In what way?
He would have. Okay, what is Jesus Christ?
Our God and Savior.
He's a Christian.
Okay.
If non-Christians don't apply.
Your answer has lobotomized me, Mom. The question is essentially, Donald Trump is implementing very anti-Christian.
No,
he's not.
He's anti-Muslim.
I read you that quote some episodes ago from the Bible, where it says to love your neighbor as yourself and treat the stranger, treat the foreigner as you would treat yourself. Shut up for a minute, Dad. Quiet, piggy.
Okay, don't do that.
You're the piggy.
Don't do that, you two.
How am I the piggy?
Don't do
You're
this.
a piggy.
Come on, you two.
You're a left-winging piggy.
Okay, you two, stop.
I think there's hope for the wife / mother. I think that there's a little bit of hope for her. Yeah, I think there's hope for her. Yeah, you hear how ignorant he said about Jesus dealing with the Muslims. There were no Muslims when Jesus. If you're going to believe that Jesus exists, and Jesus existed and died for your sins and nailed on the cross and all that, is you going to believe that? Believe this, that the Muslim faith didn't exist at that time at all. That was something that came about way later. Jesus was a Palestinian Jew. I would go as far as to say he was a olive skin, I guess you could say brown, Palestinian, Jewish, socialist, radical. In the words of Michael Rollins, the son-in-law on Till Death Us Do Part, a Jewish Che Guevara, if you will. So, but the thing is that that's how ignorant that guy is. Jesus was a Christian. Jesus isn't Christian at all. But yeah, I guess you could say that the Christian faith exists because of Jesus, or the concept of Jesus, I would say, for those who are not believers. But that's the kind of ignorance you have to deal with morons like that old man. It's amazing that these people have the power of the vote. It's no wonder why we can't have nice things in this country. So let's see. Let's go with. Gosh, I just get a headache thinking about this sort of thing, Oh, lordy. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do this one.
This is a guy who ran on making things affordable. There are now these long lines at food banks in places where they didn't exist before. Do you think he is making things better for Americans?
He is sure trying. Yes, I totally believe he is.
You just saw a picture of people at a food bank wrapped around the building.
Right. Could that have been too when our government was shut down? I totally believe that when the people that live within our government, within the United States, 42%, I think, depended on, what the percentage was higher. What was the percentage that we have food stamp people on?
I'm not sure.
When they have to live day by day by the government handing them money and food, we're in trouble. What we need to do is take it away from the illegal people that should not be here, and that money could then be brought to our people.
What are you talking about? What money is going to, quote, illegal people in your mind?
In Minnesota, the Somalians.
So you think the Somalians in Minnesota are the reason why there is a line that wraps around a building at a food bank in Kentucky?
Not all of the Somalians, but a lot that are getting our free government money, food, businesses. Yes.
Oh my goodness. So in other words, poor Africans are just sitting there taking away your hard-earned money. It's basically, this is the kind of stuff that they like to feed people, and with immigrants here, we wouldn't have an immigration dilemma. I don't want to call it a crisis because, to call it a crisis is to agree with these people. We wouldn't have a dilemma of immigration or migration here in the United States if the United States would stop being a fucking asshole around the world, sanctioning countries and bullying countries, drone striking countries, and in some cases, ground troop invasion of countries. So, but you tell these people that, they're like, no, we need the ground troop invade, and we need to go in and drone strike and sanction and do everything we can to make their lives miserable. But they better not come here, and they better not react against our cruelty. We'll get to call them terrorists and send them to Guantanamo Bay. I mean, that's the mentality of these people. God, the retardation of these individuals in this country. Again, we can't have nice things because of these people. And I hear people say, well, they go President Trump, I'm leaving the country. Oh God, please imprison Trump so we can have less of these people voting. Okay, I think that I'm going to do one final one here, and then I'll conclude with final comments. Here we go.
I live in a state right now where Ken Paxton is proposing a bill, I think it may have passed, where there is a tip line that you can call if you suspect somebody in the bathroom is transgender, and you are allotted 5 photos that you can upload to this tip line website of people in the bathroom. You think that's okay?
Yeah.
So now anyone in Texas now can openly take photos in a bathroom and upload it to a website. You think that's safe for women?
So the transgendered should stay out of the bathroom.
Should be boys and boys and girls and girls.
But do you not understand the danger in this?
No.
That it really has nothing to do with transgender people. Now, anyone in a bathroom can photograph you in any capacity and upload it to the internet.
Well, you ought to be going to the bathroom in the bathroom, and that's all.
That's
And
very weird.
and boys should be in the boys' room, and girls should be in the girls' room.
What do you think transgender people do in the bathroom? They go to the bathroom.
Yeah, here's the thing. When I was growing up, back in those days, we call it sex change. Now we used the term transitioning and all that, but the thing is that if somebody was transitioning and they were in the bathroom of the gender that they were not officially of when they were born, even though people were like, they were cringed by it, it wasn't a thing to sit there and act like that's going to bring down society. So I don't like her, but I will give her as an example. Blair White, You all know who Blair White is, the right wing transgender young girl that's on YouTube. The one that sits there and transphobe against. They'll take individual transgender folks that individuals. Not when I say individual, I don't mean everybody. Individuals who may have done some creepy things and blow it out of proportion and make them look really super creepy on the thumbnail and act like, look at me, I'm the good transgender person because she is objectively attractive or what have you. So someone like Blair White, the right-wing people, does that mean that she's got to go in the restroom where the dudes are at? Because look at her. If you're a consistent transphobe, what the fuck in the situation when it comes to Blair White? Of course, we all really know what it means with this transphobia, that they want to eradicate it from existence, like Michael Knowles said one time at the CPAC conference a couple of years ago. He was talking in Nazi-like terms. They were called Jews in Germany in the 1930s, and the right wing called them trans today, but it's otherizing people. So the point I'm trying to make is it's not a big deal if transgender people use the bathroom. If a transgender woman goes into the ladies' room, so what? A transgender guy goes into a men's restroom, so what? I do not believe that the majority of transgender people are quote unquote sexual perverts getting some kind of thrill about using the bathroom. Come on now, really? They're like anybody else. They got to use the bathroom like anybody else. And anyway, what a thing to make society put into a grinding halt. And it's not the transgender people's fault. But this is the sort of thing. The old man, he's like really like anti-trans and all that there and everything. So anyway, that's basically what I wanted to talk about this show. The necessary conversation. And this is the sort of thing they talk about all the time. I've been kind of watching it, and as I said, the parents are just Kool-Aid drinking MAGA people, addicted to Fox News, Newsmax, and One American News Network. The kids, they're basically Democrats and a little bit shit-libby. But I would say, objectively, they're going to be more correct on the issues than the parents. There might be some hope for the mom/wife. There might be some hope for her. I think if the right people talk to her, she can be reasoned with. But that old man, fuck him. So anyway, I'm going to go and talk to y'all real quick on the chat line, and I got to get the hell out of here because I got to go to work in a little while. So I'm going to scroll back and all that, and then I'll make a final announcement. So. Okay. It's a whole new year. Willie Bragg says, Chuck, Intergalactic UFO Show. Hey, how are you doing, my friend? Hope to see a new video soon. Let's see. Jesus was a Jew, not a Christian. That's true. Muhammad came along a couple of 100 years later. Yes. And this is not to criticize any theology one way or the other, but Islam is actually theologically closer to Christianity than Judaism. And that's not a slam on Judaism saying that, but it's factually true. They think more of Jesus and Mary than the Jewish theology does. So so I don't get the Western centric folks when they use the term Judeo-Christian in a way. I don't. except that that's their way of being politically correct. The one time that they want to be politically correct and not fear, like ultra racist douchebags or what have you. Let's see. No, Jebus was a dude who considered himself Hebrew, not Jewish. Nice dude. Could do this weird thing where he'd whistle through his hands. He was called King of the Jews, not King of the Hebrews. Oh, semantics. Called by who? Shemarek, the scroll maker, New Testament. As a lukewarm Christian who borders on atheism myself, I don't really know. So let's see. Well, who are all these morons? It's called The Necessary Conversation. James Lai, who was a video about the U2 who broke the Somali Minnesota story. Spoiler, he's probably a Zionist op. Yeah, and I'm getting tired of all that Somali bashing, really. Let's see, bootstrap brains always think is limited money problems. Willie, don't piss with Texas. Hey, P-Stub, how are you doing? Let's see here. Okay. I should write a book called Chuck Intergalactic Bible. Now everyone will do everything that I tell them in the book, including baking cookies every Tuesday. Okay. And you're going to be all intergalactic. Hell, if you bake them on Wednesday. Let's see. Make sure everybody's taken care of. And I guess that's it right now for all the participants. On Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on the Willie Bragg Show, Angie Moon will be returning, and we're going to do a show on 2025, a year in review. And we'll be discussing, just the various events of the year and what we hope for in the year 2026. So that's going to be a pretty good show. Angie Moon is an author and a blogger and a really cool person. American that lives in England. So always great to have her on the show and all that. And we're going to have some other guests. Warren, I want you and Lainey on the show. And Jamar Jabari and myself, we were talking, and he should be coming back on the show pretty soon. And then another friend of mine who's an author, or who's going to be an author of the first book, and he's been on the show before. That's Dwight Welch. He's going to be on the show pretty soon. So we got guests coming on the show like you can't believe. I'm Willie Bragg. If you like what you heard, please press like and comment any way you disagree with what I have to say. Feel free to share any content I have on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it because we are the muckrakers of our time. Reject corporate media. Reject corporate media and subscribe to the Willie Bragg Show. And let's up that 1,000. I'm not trying to be greedy, but let's get it up to 1,000. Somebody the other day unsub, and I got down to 999 and 998. Then I got back up to 1,002 and 1,000. Let's get it up. Let's get it up, please, folks. So anyway, so subscribe to the Willie Bragg Show. And remember, free and pardon Ed Snowden and all other political prisoners, free health care for all, free Palestine more than ever, and of course, free speech for us all, and preserve freedom of speech, never yield on that. And until next time, fuck all the haters, especially that old geezer on the show that looks like Tim Waltz, but has the politics of, I don't know, Rush Limbaugh. Yeah, fuck him. Anyway, y'all take care. I have to go to work. See y'all later. Au revoir.